Welcome to the Round 7 injury update presented by AIA Vitality. Really clean bill of health from the weekend's game. We had Scott's Pendlebury's eye that got a bit of a poke in it towards the end of the game. He got sent off to the specialist after the game and there was no problems with that. He's having a little bit of vision stuff going on early part of the week, but we expect that to settle and he'll be available for the weekend's game. So some updates from our longer term injury list now. So Mason, been waiting for this specialist appointment for quite some time. He got that done Monday prior to the Anzac Day clash. Really positive results from that. So he's had a follow-up scan on all the internal issues that was going on and everything's tracking really well. In fact, progressing as at the best possible rate that we could expect. So he's been cleared to resume activities now. So it's just a matter of grading up his running loads and his football loads and his contact loads as we get into the progressions. He's really been inactive for the last 5 or 6 weeks with no weight training or no running. So we've got to make sure that we're really aggressive in that ramp up, but then careful that we're doing things the right way by him and setting him up to succeed through that reconditioning process. So could be as early as next week that he's available for games. Medically, that's fine. It's just a matter of how he tolerates the work. But if it's not round 8, it'll definitely be around 9. So really positive news for Mason, and we should see him back out in the park pretty soon. The next three are Murphy, Aiden Begg and Arlo, and they've all returned back into full training now. So Murph was the one with that concussion. He's cleared through that concussion protocol, so he'll be allowed to do full contact training this week and then be available for selection. And then Beggy and Arlo have been back in full training for about a week now, and they're available for selection this week. So barring any setbacks in the training session on Friday, they'll be fit and available to play. We don't have a VFL game this weekend, so some of them might miss some minutes and then play their first game after that. But all fit and available this weekend. And then Jacob Ryan's the other one, progressing through. He'll do some contact training with our team tomorrow, and if he gets through that, he'll be available again for selection this weekend. Again, no VFL game, so then it might delay his return by a week. But all of those three are tracking really well to be available for selection this weekend if required. Joe Richards, he'd started his running program from the hamstring injury, so he's into session 3 now of that running program, progressing nicely as we'd expect. At this stage of the rehab, we really use the gym as a real good marker to see how quickly they're going to be, and he's progressing through that stuff really well. So it's round 9 at the soonest for Joe. We'll make sure that when we get to the point end of that rehab, when he starts sprinting, that we're really remaining risk-free at that point in time. So that might be delayed to round 10, but really around 9 or 10 will be the scenario for Joey, and he's progressing well at this stage. And then the other one with a significant update or an update coming is Darcy Cameron. He's been able to remove the brace for some level of activity at the moment, some gym-based activities and some movement, which is really good, and things are tracking really well. He's got a pretty crunch time come this weekend. He's got another assessment on that medial ligament, which will then clear us to resume full activities, so running, jumping, cutting, change of direction, or potentially spend another week or 2 in that brace. So crunch time coming this weekend. We'll be able to update early next week on the outcome of that, but we're hopeful that we'll see Darcy out running over the weekend. And then the long-term guys, so Paddy Lipinski's tracking really well. Dan McStay's had that surgery. He's completing a running program at the moment. Jeremy Howe's completing a running program, and Charlie Dean's working more inside and progressing back to running. But all those 4, there's no real updates at this point in time, and if there's any updates to come over the following weeks, we'll make sure that we narrow those timeframes down. And that's all for the Round 7 injury update. Thanks for listening.